All right, let's see. Hello, Kat. Good morning. I hope you can see and hear me, or I mean, I hope. Maybe I shouldn't hope that at this early time in the day. But yeah, hello. Um, the other side of like what I like about these morning productivity things that I'm now trying to do. I mean, this is only the second day, right? Is that I get to drink tea in the morning and not beer, which does sometimes, is sometimes the much better option. Also means that I can only, write stuff and not actually record videos this early in the morning because I don't want to get drunk at like 8 a.m. Yo, Britain. How are you doing this late in the day after we talked only, I don't know, 9 hours ago? um, so I guess it's late evening for you out there and early morning for Kat and me. Well, not that early technically, but oh, that's nice. Well, nice is a good question, but like, yes, it's. I mean, you were already excited yesterday when you talked about it. It's a powerful book, not a fun one. Did your version of the things they carry also have like the essay that he wrote like a couple of years later when he returned to Vietnam as a tourist and stuff? Was that also part of your version of the book, or only the original text? Yeah. So for the first like sprint, 45 minutes or whatever that will be, I'll try to do some productivity, but I also need to actually upload the review I wrote on Friday because if you want to know what ADHD is like, that's that. You finish writing the thing and then you have to run because whatever, and then you forget to actually upload it to the website for like 2 days. Yeah, that's me. I'm trying to do that in the next stream. Ah, okay, yeah, then you. I think that was like all the current versions of the editions of the things they carry have that other essay when he comes back to Vietnam, which is also a very depressing essay. So yeah, that's what I'll do during the first 45 minutes. I'll upload the review text on the website, and then I'll start mapping out. Hopefully, I'll start out with mapping out the video for the first part of the Mormonism video because I got to start recording the thing, and maybe I'll just use the time to make a list of points that I want to make in the first part. If I'm really lucky and fast, I can also make some points that I want to make in the second part. Because yeah, this will be a multi-part kind of video, so I'll try to record 1 or 2 bits today, later tonight, I guess, and maybe some tomorrow. We'll see how fast I can be with that. And then I can ask some friends that I have asked to do sort of like sensitivity watching, people that have connections to the LDS Church and can tell me if I'm doing something grossly wrong. So that's kind of the plan. I Yeah, totally up my alley, Kat. That's true. I mean I've never even drunk any pumpkin spice latte, so I guess I'm clearly the target audience. Yeah, yeah, the war isn't fun. That's true. Well, I'm glad you could even you came in for a bit, Kat, and I hope class will be fun. That's not always the case in university, I know, but sometimes it can be interesting at least. So I hope it's that. And yeah, now war isn't fun. I read the things they carried last year for like a presentation I had at a conference on war fiction in general, and I compared it to um, Slaughterhouse-Five, and some other books. Yeah, All Quiet on the Western Front, because war isn't fun. Yeah, I suspected that, Cat. I suspected that pumpkin spice latte might be overrated. I think it's the hype is more that for whatever reason, in some parts of the US, you can only get it in autumn, and that makes it like special in the way that Christmas cookies tend to be special because you can only get them from August to January, I guess. But that's like the thing, right? That doesn't necessarily apply to parts of Europe where you can get like pumpkin spice latte and whatever all year round, and so maybe that's like a thing. Morning, Jin. Yeah, of course it can be monotonous and sometimes absurdist funny. I mean, that's something you can also get from parts of Slaughterhouse-Five. There is that level of sort of like absurdist, fatalist kind of humor in it. And I think he captures that really well. O'Brien does, I think. Yeah, the other thing I need to do is, I guess, I need to look at, like, reply to comments on the Fury of the Gods video that I put up last night, and see if I can actually comment on videos again, because YouTube being YouTube and whatnot. Slaughterhouse Vice sounds also bad, but yeah, it's such a good book. It's such a powerful book and such a frustrating book in that it is so like disjointed, which I guess is part of why it works so well. Because yeah, that's what happens if you have like PTSD, I guess. Yeah, marshmallows are definitely far superior. I agree with you there. And yes, I don't know if our campus coffee shop has that or not, because I always go there and just drink tea, so I wouldn't know. But I suspect probably not, because they are a fairly basic kind of shop that has like coffee and 2 types of coffee or 3 types of coffee, I guess, and black tea, and that's it. And cake, very good cake. Me, could be. I sometimes get into fights with trees. That's definitely true. It's the whole like Isengard things. You build your wizard's tower, and suddenly all these trees come by and attack you without provocation, I might add. But yeah, yeah, I did walk into something there on like my way to the store through like the stupid hedge thing at the side, which scratches a lot. But yeah, happens. Nature is not all fun and games, or so I've heard. Oh yeah, Armistice Day. Yeah, well, there's a lot of war books that are like very powerful and important to read. As I like, All Quiet on the Western Front is another one that I think is really good, and also really depressing. Storm of Steel is one that is really frightening, because it shows you someone who's really, really enjoying his war experience, possibly because he was mostly an officer and turned out to be somewhat Nazi adjacent afterwards. So that's probably the one that made me the most uncomfortable, because I know there's a lot of people who read Storm of Steel by Ernst Jünger and go like, "Whoa, this is awesome! This is so manly! This is so..." And it's like, no, he's still talking about hundreds and thousands of people dying in World War One. This is not fun. Just because he gets off on it doesn't mean you should actually celebrate him for that. Now that is a really cool dedication. I have to admit that. Yeah, the book that I'm currently reading is Wild Faith by Talia Lavin, which is how the Christian right takes over America. It's not exactly something I didn't know about, but I figured what with election being tomorrow and me already doing all this Mormonism stuff, I figured I might just add that one as well. And I've been a reader of her newsletter, which is The Sword and the Sandwich, which is all about right-wing extremism and sandwiches, which are equally serious and important topics. So I decided to support her with her new book about a lot of like evangelical Christian rights connections to politics, to money, and so forth, and how it's really bad. Because clearly, I needed something fun and interesting to read after the Fury of the Gods. All right, everybody. I think it's quarter past. I guess we'll start doing the sprinting thing. I'll do productive things and I'll check back in at 9. Kat, have fun at university. Uh, and everyone else, well, good night if you're going to bed, Britain. Otherwise, have fun reading more war books. Oh, so you're voting on voting day. You didn't do early voting, I assume, Britain. All right, everybody. See you in 45 minutes. Hello, and we're hopefully back if my microphone works, which I guess it does. All right. So, how did you all do, or if anyone is still watching, during these sprints? Did you get something done? Did you read something? Did you write something? I did, in fact, upload my review thing to the website. Now the photographer can, read over my text and decide whether he's, happy with it or not. That kind of stuff. I also tried to reply to comments on my latest video, which doesn't work because YouTube on the website still doesn't allow me to send comments for whatever reason. So I guess I need to type them all out on my phone, which sucks. So that's... And I did, in fact, start taking notes for my, at least the first part of the Mormonism video, the introductory part, and I think I've fully structured out the entire video. Now I just need to figure out how to, record those, split those up into individual parts that I can record individually. I think that's the next big part. I mean, obviously, there will be an introductory part, and then that part I'll try to record today. That would be really good to get it done, get it out, so I can, move forward with like actual, videos and stuff. We'll see how that goes. Hey, Chadia, are you illegally watching streams on at work, or how do you have off work today? Hey, Sam, glad you can make it. Yeah, we're doing sort of me trying to figure out if I can be productive in the morning, which is quite the undertaking so far. I'm glad you can jump in for a bit. I now need to figure out what to do next, because I'm part of like an association that organizes, like a small club that organizes concerts and stuff, and there's an application for external funding that we need to basically hand in by 2 p.m. today, and other people are currently working on it. I'm not necessarily the main person who has to do this at the moment, and they were like, hey, you want to jump into like a call and help us figure this stuff out? So maybe I'll not go to the gym right away after we finish this here, and instead jump on a Discord call to help fill out forms to get money from the German state for heavy metal concerts, which I think is one of the better uses for taxpayer money, but So that's one thing I need to do at this point. The other part is like, am I the only person? Like, maybe that's just me. Like, I wrote that text, I wrote that review, I put it up, and now I have to come up with a headline, with a title for the whole thing, for the online article, and that's something I'm really bad at. And I'm now, I need to think of something cool now, and then I need to sort of like do some slight formatting. And I don't have a problem with like actually writing texts or recording videos, but like the administrative part is the stuff that I struggle with the most, because it's just pressing buttons and stuff. And maybe that's like my ADHD, that like my impatience kind of overtakes me there, and I'm like, I can't be bothered with like actually doing this right now, which is stupid, of course. So that's something I need to figure out how to do that. Yeah, I hope I can come up with like a cool, title and get stuff done. But I need to trick myself into doing these like more administrative stuff. It's the same with YouTube, right? I have like all these Malazan videos from way back, and I started putting them into playlists to have like a playlist for each Malazan book. And I need to do that, like with a lot of those, I need to do that retroactively and still put them into those playlists. And I haven't done that yet because it's just so annoying to just click on something and do that. And I don't know. I do understand why artists want to, want managers and stuff like that, because not that I'm an artist or anything, but I do get that sort of like urge to avoid all the actual sort of like necessary work that you need to do around it. Really? Like, do you enjoy administrative stuff, Chad? Yeah, because once again, it's not exactly, hard work or anything. It's just that, and I suspect it's partly an ADHD thing. It's like my brain is already like doing the next thing, and then I have to press on buttons, and possibly it's also that using like screen reader software makes a lot of this stuff harder. Not necessarily harder, but like much slower because there's extra steps that I can't just like jump to something easily and click on buttons that if you just like scroll over a page, you can do this like with a mouse very quickly. I have to use my keyboard for it, and I have to use the screen reader for it, and that takes much more time. And then I get this like almost like physical pain that's keeping me from actually doing it, and it's really annoying. I need to figure out what to do about that. Oh, what's really interesting is like every time I go on live on my channel, for whatever reason, YouTube sends me an email telling me that I am now live on my channel, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I mean, I guess it makes sense if you have to have that as a warning if someone hacks your channel or whatever, or if you have like a group channel where like several people have access to the same YouTube channel. But it's kind of weird that it sends me an email telling me that I'm live now, and I'm like, you'd think I know that. Yeah, okay, maybe that's I get the accomplished feeling. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, when you clean up your room or whatever and have suddenly everything squared away, and I'm like, wow, this looks so good. And then, I sit down and I do like 5 things, and suddenly my desk is another terrible mess again. And then I lose that feeling of accomplishment. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll just have to sit down one Sunday or whatever and put on some interesting music or something I can play in the background, some YouTube video or whatever, and just like click on all those fucking buttons to get the whole stuff sorted out and get, the the channel stuff figured out in a way that maybe makes it easier in the future for me to do that kind of stuff. But you never know. At least I did start writing down the structure for the Mormonism video, so I'm excited for that. And hopefully, maybe I'll not take like another 2, 3, 4 weeks to actually get the whole thing recorded, because it would be neat to have it out very soon. I feel like it might be one of the videos that could actually do well on my channel. It's always hard to predict those kind of things, right? And it's certainly the Jung Win video I did like last night is doing really well at the moment, and the last week's Alan Moore video is also doing well. But others, not so much. Where I thought it would be a big one, but you never know. But I feel like a Mormonism video might be interesting to people that are not normally watching my channel, because even if you don't like my assessment of books, it might be helpful, I guess. So I guess what I'll have to do in the next sprints is going back on that on the magazine website and do the formatting stuff and come up with a cool title, and ideally get all of that squared away so the copy editor can actually do like proofreading and stuff, because we are that professional of a magazine that someone else is going to double check all my spelling and stuff. And that's high standards on the internet these days. looking at professional magazines that journals or newspapers, whatever you read, I sometimes feel they don't actually do the same level of due diligence that we do with our small heavy metal webzine. So that's definitely something that I have to do, and then hopefully start recording the video today. And ideally, for the next couple of days, do these every day in the morning to see that I get up and do shit before I head to the gym, and use that time maybe to actually start writing that novel that I promised everyone I would write just to find out if I can. And wouldn't that be fun? Do some outlining. Not that I would ever partake in something as terrible as the NaNoWriMo thing, but I mean, it's November, so I could do it. And the novel is about the second deluge that never came in 1523. So it's a historical novel that might also be historical fantasy. Supernatural stuff will certainly happen, or might happen. Sort of in my head, it's about that. You have like 1523. It's like Reformation has just started in Germany, so it's going to be partly in what might now be more like East Germany or Czech Republic, because obviously the German lands in the 1520s are very different from what you have like as a state of Germany now, but it's somewhere in that area. And there was widespread panic and a lot of like broadsheets and astrological predictions of a second deluge happening in 1523 for all kinds of astrological reasons. And it kind of overlaps with the beginnings of the German peasant wars and Reformation happening at the same time. So it's a really cool kind of time period where you can add in a lot of like supernatural stuff by just like making some of these predictions be realer or whatever. And I want to ideally, I want to focus on one sort of like small area, village kind of place, and center each chapter around a different like holiday. Because when you look at those like early modern and like even all the way up to the 19th century, you have like a lot of like folk holidays that are sometimes sort of religious, Christian, sometimes very much a weird mix of paganism and religion and Christianity and sort of these kind of ways. And they really mark, in like a more like agrarian society, they really mark like the calendar, and you have like one or two of these every sort of like month, if you want to look at months basically. And I figured you can to use that because you have that like church year, but you also have like the more agrarian peasant kind of year. And if you use those, because of what you celebrate in different parts of the year, they also sort of set the mood basically for all kinds of other stuff. And I figured that would be like a relatively easy structure for me to work along in, and sort of focus each chapter on one of those holidays and the stuff around that, sort of to get the plot moving forward. And we'll see how all of that works once I actually write stuff down and don't only have it all in my head. But ideally, it's about, I want it to feel German in a way that like a lot of fantasy and historical stuff doesn't necessarily, because it's often set in either France or British Isles, because a lot of like Anglo-American authors have like a very different idea of medieval and early modern Europe, because it's so focused on like the West, whereas like Germany and what's now, Czech Republic, Poland, Slovakia, all of these areas have a very different feel that I personally really appreciate if done well. So I figured I'll just do it because no one else is doing it at the moment. So that's sort of the idea there. Will it work? I don't know. Will I be able to actually write the thing that is in my head? Probably not. But someone has to start. So that's roughly what I try to do. Will it work? We'll find out. But maybe if I get the other smaller administrative stuff out of the way today, then I can start actually writing tomorrow, and let's see how that works. And then write in the morning, then go to the gym, do some audiobook listening so I can record like videos or part of videos in the evening, and rinse and repeat for the week, and feel incredibly productive as a grind tuber. Speaking of, I should probably start the next round of sprints so everyone can work and be productive. I'll jump back in around 10 to say goodbye to everyone, and then probably either go to the gym or fill out applications for funding. It depends on whether my gym clothes are dry, because I only did laundry yesterday and I don't think they might be dry enough to actually put them on again. So that's that's my external decision maker to figure out whether to do workout or work. All right, everybody, let's be productive. I have a second pot of tea, so I guess I can be productive, and I'll talk to you around 10. And welcome back, everybody, or the one person that is still watching. It is nearing the end of the sprints. It is almost 10. I did have email contact with our editor, so the work is actually going forward, and I did manage to write some comments on the Fury of the Gods video, or respond to comments there. It feels wrong calling that productivity, but on the other hand, it's sort of what, being using YouTube, I guess, as a creator, that's part of your job, is to, be active, respond to comments and so forth. So I guess it does sort of count as productivity, especially since I had to do it on my phone, which typing on my phone is, I guess no one really likes typing on your phone, but one of the things that it is really bad when you're using a screen reader like with a touch screen, what happens is the screen reader tells you what part of the screen you're tapping on. And if you actually want to activate whatever you're tapping on, you then have to do like a double tap, basically a double click, which means that if you're using, the keyboard of like a touch screen, means like every single letter I have to first tap on it, hope that I, until I find the correct letter that I want, and then double tap to use that letter, which means that typing takes for fucking ever. I really hope that whole like YouTube browser glitch is sorted out soon, and I can actually, use the screen, use my browser again to respond to videos, because the YouTube app sucks as well. For whatever reason, I can't give like the thumbs up, and I can't do the press like buttons, or give like the heart thing from the YouTube app. That one I can only do from the browser, because they removed that feature recently, and I don't know why. Hopefully it'll come back soon, but these are the weird struggles that I guess only I have, or very few people have, and it's certainly not making it easier. And yeah, Jen, it doesn't surprise me that Stephen King would say that. But he's also right in a lot of ways. I think like getting it all out first and then going into editing is the best way of doing it. I remember like a while ago, I read like a Joe Abercrombie blog post on that, and how he does that. And he said that like between like his first draft and the final book, he cuts out around like 25% of the first draft get cut out during editing passes over time to get the whole thing to where he wants it, which I found really interesting, because sometimes you think that like you do like a first rough draft and then you add other stuff that you forgot before, and it's like no, I write everything out that's in my head, and then I cut out all the bits that I don't need for the rest. And I think that's a really interesting approach to editing and writing. I'm not sure if it works for everyone, but so yeah, that's sort of what I need to figure out. But as I said, writing the book will start hopefully tomorrow. Today I have to I had to do the whole like administrative stuff, and at least start scripting out the Mormonism video. So I guess I was productive, even though it wasn't actual writing. We'll see how that continues tomorrow, and we'll see how long I am willing and able to do these these sort of creativity sprints. Thanks actually for hanging out and all of that. I know it's a weird time. It's early for people in Europe who, usually have to go to work at these times, and it's late for people in the US. So it's a weird thing. But I figured I'll do it for myself, mostly to force myself to actually be productive. And if it's working for at least one other person, I guess we're all winning, I guess. Yeah, you're right. Interfaces always turn for the worst over time. And I really want to go to the gym. I really don't want to deal with the funding application thing. I'll figure it out. I'll check in with the people filling out the form, how far along they are, and then maybe I'll hang in with them for like another hour or so, and then go to the gym. It's sort of like it's Monday, so I would do like 2 hours of cardio today, and that will like bust down and up is like basically means like 3 hours of time, and then it will be like early autumn. Early autumn is like early afternoon, and then I have to do like a very a tough sort of conversation that we need to have with someone that we, as as our metal organizer, concert organizing club kind of thing, one of our members of the club. We need to have like a very serious conversation with that guy tonight. I'm not looking forward to that one at all, but we'll see how that goes. That's in the evening, so until then I can hopefully record the weekly navel gazing video for later as well. It almost feels like working. The grind is real, I can tell you that. So I guess that's what I'll do, is like do 1 hour of helping with the application, and then run to the gym, and then eat something, record the video, go down into town and have that conversation, and after that record the first part of the Mormonism video. So yeah, thanks everybody for the sprinting and hanging out. I appreciate people keeping me company and slightly holding me to some level of accountability. And yeah, I'll talk to you. Well, there will be a video later today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Those of you who have nothing better to do at 8 in the morning than to hang out with me. So yeah, until then, I guess thanks everybody.